Hello Internet, welcome back to our Magiclysm Druid playthrough. In the last episode we were shot in the head, unfortunately. I spent a lot of time thinking about how we could get through that turret and into the armory for just to salvage some of the gear in there. And none of the ideas I came up with were very good because if we remember, we had pickaxed through the wall which left this pit which we placed a plank over. Now, we could fill in the pit, I think. If we gathered up some dirt or something from outside, we could probably fill in the pit. I imagine there's a construction option for that. And then we could push furniture in to kind of block the turret's sight, and we would at least get access to, like, maybe one or two things. It seems so dangerous and so unnecessary. I know if you put two cardboard boxes next to each other, you can hide in them from the turrets, but that's extremely gamey, and I don't really want to do that. What is this? That's the downstairs of the LMOE shelter we left, I guess. Some things I wanted to do before we got really into the episode. I want to swap out this fur hat for a helmet, just because we're not as cold as we used to be. I think mainly our cold is a result of the common cold that we're experiencing. And the fur hat is extremely warm. We're actually at negative 43. So wearing the hat is just barely putting us over to be not cold. Okay, I guess we're going to wear the hat. I really would rather have some head protection, but I guess we're going to go with the hat. We also don't need this tore up long underwear bottom. We're going to wear the compression shorts that we found in a previous episode. They're not as warm, of course, but they do offer a little bit better protection. The other thing I really want to do, so if you look here, we have one charge of cough syrup remaining. We also have another bottle with 2 charges in it, which means best case scenario, we have a few days of cough suppressant, which will let us sleep comfortably. We're only going to use it for sleeping. The problem is we've had this cold for 5 days now, and someone said it can last several weeks in the game, so I really don't want to run out because then we're going to not be able to sleep. So what we're going to do today is we're going to head immediately out into the wilderness to try and find some bee balm, because bee balm is the natural version of cough syrup, basically. It will suppress the symptoms of our cold. It will give us back a small amount of strength, things like that. Now, I know in we're not even close to the forest. It's all swamp. I know that in Magiclysm, swamps can have incredibly dangerous things, like possibly one of the most supreme monsters in the game. So we really don't want to be in a swamp. Also, even just regular wasps and stuff could really mess us up. And the forest is also home to some creatures we really don't necessarily want to be bumping into when we're kind of a garbage character. We're still irradiated. Is that going up? I thought it was 2 the last time we checked. Maybe we should move that mini nuke further away. It was leaking radiation. Maybe we shouldn't go near it anymore. I don't know. We'll path around it, I think, if I think about it. And we do know there's another lab, so even once we clear this one, we do have an idea of where to go next. But anyway, we're going to head to the forest, I think, and forage. Do we have a weapon on us? Yes, we have a Magnum as well as a Glock in our holster. So we're not in any significant danger. I think we have, some means of fighting off the enemy. Let's not go near the swamp, and let's make sure safe mode is on. We're going to head north to the forest. I just want to find some bee balm. We searched quite a lot when we were up. Bunch of dots. Wolves. Wolves can also really mess us up this early in the game because they're kind of hard to hit. And they deal, I believe, like cut damage, which is really not something we want to mess with. So we're going to head north. What are you? Are you also wolves? Let's check our... Labrador mutts. They shouldn't be hostile. Although they look... they're to my right. Okay. So the jackrabbits are what I'm seeing to my left. I don't think the dogs will bother us. Let's go ahead and search. Hopefully we find some bee balm. I think thyme oil is a disinfectant. Because I remember I just saw in a menu some bee balm. Great. Let's check what we need to make bee balm tea. We don't have... we have survival 2, we have cooking 1. My guess is that we probably need cooking 2. I was looking at the teas. We were talking about it in Discord yesterday. Some of the teas require books to make. Like dandelion tea, remember I was saying dandelion tea is a thing? Apparently you need a book to boil dandelions. And I think that that's extremely dumb. But I also don't feel motivated to change it because somebody obviously thought it was a good idea at some point to do that. And I really hate going over other people's work. And I feel like, who am I to change their stuff, you know? But man, does it bother me that you need a skill book in order to... the recipe is literally one handful of dandelions and water. That's it. So how does an average person not know about that? So that really bothers me. We also should probably gather some pine boughs while we're here so we can make pine tea, pine needle tea. We don't need... well, we'll take the pine cones as well. Because that will give us... I'm pretty sure pine tea and herbal tea increase your health stat, which should help us recover from this cold a little faster. We did drink quite a lot of tea, and I kind of think we should have a pretty okay health stat at the moment. I don't know if it will just immediately cure us once we swing to, like, really... like, I don't know how the cold works, but we'll see. So we don't have the recipe for bee balm tea, but we do have bee balm now, which is good. We'll try raising our cooking. Wild roots. I don't think I've seen them before. Weed with a cluster of tiny white flowers. Often wild carrots, but beware of poisonous lookalikes. Okay, so in other aspects of Cataclysm, so this is a little spoilery if you don't know. There are mushrooms in Cataclysm that you can forage, and if you forage mushrooms, they have a chance to be poison mushrooms. And then, like, there's a specific mushroom that's always poisonous until you cook it. But when you just find a regular old mushroom, it won't tell you if it's poison or not unless you have a high survival skill. I think it's survival 4 will identify them as poisonous or non-poisonous. So I'm wondering if that's the same thing for these wild roots, because I would really hate to eat wild roots and end up poisoned. So we're going to avoid those, which is a little gamey, but I don't know. I mean, we really don't want wild veggies. Their calorie count is so low. I don't think we would be able to level up our cooking from them. We're definitely going to work on our cooking. I just don't know if we have anything for cooking. I suppose we could swing by our old base while we're out here and see if we had anything, any cooking books. We might have had one. Although I kind of don't think we did. Yeah, so thyme oil, I think I was talking about. Thyme oil, I don't know if it's a disinfectant, but when we were in the menus for first aid the other day, it said something about you could use thyme oil for making real bandages, which normally requires disinfectant, so it's probably a disinfectant. Also, with all the swamps, we could make cattail jelly. That does require a skill book, but I'm much more okay with that requiring a skill book, because I feel like turning cattails into jelly is probably not super intuitive. But really, anyone should be able to make dandelion tea. It's literally, you throw it in a pot and you boil it, and then you have dandelion tea. A lot of eggs as well. Eggs are not super interesting to me because they have a low calorie count and don't store very well. Like a big strawberry patch, I guess. All these are strawberry bushes. That's pretty cool. We might mark that. Just so that when summer comes, if we want, you know, thousands of strawberries, we know right where to go. So for now, I think, how long do dandelion stuff last? Are they good for a while, or do they start, I mean, are they just going to perish immediately? Become mushy for one day. Yeah, so we probably don't want the dandelions because we don't have those books. Why don't we go check our base? Let's be a little careful because this is where the dollar store was, which was where the shocker zombie was. Seeing some wildlife. It's been a while since I've really seen like turkeys and stuff, so that's pretty interesting. I thought they had really toned down the the wildlife spawns, it seemed like. Maybe it's just my imagination running away with me. Yep, not used to kiting. I guess they're fast, so we're gonna run. Mighty fast kid. Am I in pain that's slowing me down or something? I'll have to check that. Just hit the kid. Okay. A little silly. Very evasive. I get it. They're smaller than people, so you want to make them a little harder to hit. But they're just kids. It's not like it's not like I'm trying to hit a bird. It's just a kid. So there's a zombie chasing a Kraken. Krakens are, I believe, the ones that are non-hostile. I think they always will run away. I really wish it wouldn't come towards me, though. What is this up here? Crawler, not a concern. So we'll head in our old base here and see if we can find a cookbook of some sort. That would be really handy. I don't really think we had one, but I do think we left a few books back here. Those are rags. That's the firewood pile. Can't search for a book. That would be stupid. Transistor, computer world, crafts for beginners. None of those are really what I want. Do we have any other... Did we leave any cough syrup behind? Let's search for cough. No. Okay. Well, what do we have here that we could use for cooking? We'll take the wild... No, not the wild vegetables. Take the thyme, the spinach maybe we can cook something with pretty easily. Maybe just boil some greens. I don't really know how that works. Anything else cookable? We have another jar of pickled meats. I feel like it's not super healthy to eat pickled meat, but yeah, I'm not seeing anything else. Let's check our cooking menu and see what we have that would level us up. These are all survival. We could make seeds to level our survival. That's interesting. We could do that with the bee balm, but that wouldn't be very helpful to us now. Cooking 1 of 1. Irish coffee. We need liquor. That's way too much stuff. Irish coffee, in my experience, is just coffee that you put whiskey in. So I'm not sure why it requires a milk product. In fact, it's really dumb that it requires a milk product because it locks all of the lactose intolerant people out of Irish coffee. I mean, I guess it is supposed to be cream. Well, I don't know. I don't care. Anyway, what can we make? We have a lemon or 2, but I really don't want to spend it on that. Like, I think we have a lemon, but it might have been rotten when I looked at it. Anyway, Johnny Cakes, we don't really have cornmeal. Cracklins, if we killed an animal, we could maybe raise our skill from just cooking the meat and cracklins. I don't know. I don't want to deal with the alcohol. We don't have most of the things for this. So let's just look at eggs, right? Let's look at eggs because we picked up a bunch of eggs. So scrambled eggs would level us up. Okay. So we'll just make a bunch of scrambled eggs. Hopefully it will level our character. Once we get back to base, we'll cook some of these eggs and see what we can do. Spam, pickled meat. I mean, we can make some deluxe eggs. I don't know that I necessarily want to waste a meat product. We could just eat the eggs. Okay, didn't really need to come back to base. I feel like if we're out and about, we should just continue foraging since we're already out that way. I don't know why I left so quickly. Decided apparently my neighbor's gonna mow his lawn right now after he was just hammering crap in our yard. Don't know what his deal is. So hopefully that's not super loud because I'm not gonna stop in the middle of my video and wait for 20 minutes while he mows his lawn. Yeah, today is not a super great day for me, just a little bit out of it. Woke up super dehydrated. I had fallen asleep with my air conditioner off, and then of course during the day it got so hot that it was just overwhelming. Super dehydrated, just a little out of it, as I often am. It seems like 2 days when I'm depressed, it seems like I'm so much more tired than I am most days. So like some days I feel like, some days I go through my whole day and I feel like I'm almost normal. Like I'm almost just a regular You know, feel like a regular Joe just going through his life like everybody else. And those are the good days, you know, where I feel like I'm just a regular guy. Other days, the bad days, you know, even on the good days, it's like I'll feel normal. I'll feel healthy. I'll feel like I'm in a good place. I've, you know, gotten a handle on my medication, gotten a handle on my mental health. And I'll go through the whole day and I'll be fine. And then just kind of out of nowhere, you know, I'll have like, you know, I'll have a thought that most people wouldn't have, something dark or terrible, or, you know, from a place of bitterness or whatever. Or I will try to do something only to be halted by my severe anxiety or that ever-present agoraphobia. Like I'll think like, oh man, that new Spider-Man movie came out, I'm gonna go to the movies. And you know, you feel normal, and then all of a sudden you realize like, you know, I can't go to the movies because then I'd be around people and I'd have a little bit of a breakdown because I have a lot of anxiety and paranoia, and I generally live in fear of other human beings because historically I haven't done super well with people. And then, you know, once one of those kind of thoughts or whatever comes over me, it's like it just shuts me down. It just completely empties me of all drive to do anything. It reminds me that I'm not like everyone else. It reminds me that I'm a fractured person, you know. I'm somebody who has so much emotional baggage, and it affects my day-to-day life, and, you know, reminds you of the loneliness that you feel, and it just is like, and it threatens to spill out of you, right? Like all of a sudden, like I'll have a day where I'm fine, and then I go into a convenience store and I've been having some bad thoughts or whatever, and I go into the convenience store and I feel like everybody knows, like people are looking at me, they know that I'm not like them, they know that something is wrong with me, they see it, you know. And that's not true, of course, that's just my crazy paranoia and stuff, but it's kind of one of those days where like I just want to sleep all day. I just kind of want to lay down and not deal with anything. But that doesn't really jive with man, I'm rambling. It doesn't really jive with the whole trying to be a YouTuber thing. So kind of have to devote a little bit of time today to recording because yesterday I slept in. Man, that fucking lawnmower is really getting on my nerves. Hopefully that's not really loud for you. I definitely am not going to edit this entire video and try to balance his mowing. Really nothing I can do about it. So we gathered up some bee balm. We got ourselves some eggs. We've completely forgotten these tiles in the, what were we gone, like 4 hours? So immediately forgotten. We were over here, I think. Why are there zombies here? Is this something that changed recently? Because, like, there were not zombies here. You know, we were just here not that long ago. And we had cleared out. It wasn't revived. It has all this gear on it. So where did it come from? So our base was down here. I mean, I feel like I need to check now to make sure that there's nothing in close proximity. I really hate that we lost those memory tiles already. We were literally just here, and we spent a ton of time here. So how have we already forgotten what this looks like? That's really irritating. Anyway, we found bee balm. We found eggs. Cooking those eggs hopefully will level our cooking. We're halfway to level 2. Why don't we do that? Because they're just going to go bad anyway. So we'll cook all of the eggs, I think. Just to get that little bit of level. Got our buff from starting a fire. We are wet, which is not a super big deal. Our focus is 29. Okay, is really bad. Why don't we have... you know, normally I would take a swig of alcohol, but I don't think alcohol is good for our character. We don't want to eat calories either because we're about to cook a bunch of eggs. So let's just make eggs. Scrambled eggs, 7 minutes. Boiled egg, 12 minutes. I feel like the general rule of thumb for boiling an egg is actually 6 minutes. is the sweet spot for kind of hard boiled but not overcooked. So that's a bit interesting that it's double that amount of time. And yeah, just scrambled eggs. We can only make 5. No, we can only make 5 because that's the max we can make with one egg type. We also have 3 reptile eggs. So we can make a total of 6 eggs, 7 eggs. So we'll go ahead and we will... I don't want to risk us failing, so we'll just go 2 at a time. Because if we fail, we're going to lose... Yeah, mess up and lose 0% progress. Okay, can we do that again? 2 eggs. Klaxon blaring. No, I'm not worried about the klaxon. Okay, have not leveled up. Cooking is 72%, so we're not... Son of a bitch. We're not going to level up off of this. Egg. We can go 1 more for bird egg, 1 more for reptile. Oh, we can't make 7. We can only make 6 because we can't combine 1 reptile egg and 1 bird egg, which is... It's a limitation of the crafting system, I guess. Can't be too mad about it, but I am. So we're not going to level. We'll do 1 more, yes, to use the reptile eggs. No, ignore the klaxon. Man, that sucks. 95%. No, that's not cooking. 79% for cooking. That really sucks. Let's eat a bunch of scrambled eggs. Why are they more... Why? Why are they more caloric than... Oh, because we get 2, so that's probably the reptile eggs, because they have a higher calorie count, apparently. Whatever. This is just dumb. Just eat a ton of scrambled eggs, I feel like is fine. I feel like eggs are more healthy than the junk food that we have. And we're hydrated. We really don't need to drink anything. Really wish this cold would go away. Really, really sick of the cold. So what can we do? What can we do to raise our cooking? Pea cook. Can make crispy cranberry. It's a combination of lemon lime soda and cranberry juice. I did not know that's what it was. You see this in the game, crispy cranberry as a beverage, which I always just assumed was cranberry soda, which I guess technically it is. So we can make 2 of those. That wouldn't be enough to level us though. Hammering? Hammer the pear into fruit juice. Okay, we can make bird food out of seeds. I don't think I want to waste our seeds on that though. We can mix alcohol. What? Weak mixed alcohol is just beer. That's not a mixed alcohol. I don't... Mix with no regard for I don't understand. It says it's made of water and alcohol, but there's no water component. Whatever. Some of these crafting things, man, they get me down because I look at them and I'm like, who made this? Why is it like this? You know, and it's just a little frustrating. Well, we'll go fruit juice because I don't care about that. So we'll go fruit juice. Can't see to craft. Of course, because we're standing on the wood pile. And if you stand on the wood pile, it does not auto refill for God knows why. So go ahead and light the fire. Let's make the fruit juice, and then we will try to make... I hope this works. I really just don't want to deal with this. You can't even use... I guess if we're not cooking it. Okay, that's fine. You cough heavily. Consume it. Oh, it's 2 charges. Well, we'll put it in a plastic bottle. That's fine. Juice pulp on the table. I didn't know we would get juice pulp. Left over from juicing the fruit. Not very tasty, but contains a lot of healthy fiber. Sure. Let's eat that. How fun is that? I feel like we would hate eating just raw pulp. Juice pulp does not affect joy. Okay, well, I mean, that sounds healthy. We'll eat a bunch of juice pulp. And then let's go back to our pea cook menu. Oh, apparently we have more things available than we did before. Maybe because the light spread and we can now use materials from further away. Okay. Oh, that's true. We can boil the remainder of the eggs. So we'll go ahead and do that. And we'll use the dirty water for that. You drop your plank in the oven. Okay. Do that again, but use the reptile egg. Oh, ignore the klaxon. I don't know why the ambient sounds from the lab have to be quite so obnoxious. 94% cooking. Okay, we should be able to level our cooking, which will hopefully give us the ability to make the bee balm tea. 1 minute to make pine nuts. Should have done this first probably because we have 10 pine cones. So let's make a bunch of pine. Do pine nuts go bad? 6 weeks? Sure. Make 10 pine nuts. We've leveled up. Great. We're now missing. God, I hate this system so much. We are now incapable of crafting what we started out to craft because it wasted our materials. So now we have this in progress craft that we can never do anything with because last I checked, you can't disassemble them. So we'll pick that up and see if we can disassemble it. Drop the boiled egg. Pine nuts, 98%. We got to 98%, and now it's in limbo. Cannot disassemble this. So, fuck me, I guess. That's just doesn't work that way. Really like that they added the crafting system where it actually gives you an in-progress craft, but I freaking hate that they will stop partway through the craft and then you're just screwed. Really hate that. I get it. You don't want people to disassemble it because people were abusing the partial. Because if it's a partial craft, it's not rotting. You could use that to like start cooking meat and then never finish, and it would store your meat forever at perfect quality. But the fact that I can't take 9 out of 10 pine cones and undo that just so I can get my freaking pine nuts back, it makes me furious. I think that that's so stupid. We've leveled up. Let's check bee balm tea. Great, we can make bee balm tea. Do we have containers for this? I think we had a bunch of plastic bottles, so we'll go ahead. We're not going to make 4 because if we fail to craft, I'm going to kill myself. So we're just going to make 2 for now. Start the in progress. You cough heavily. You mess up and lose 3% progress. Pour in the container. Into the plastic bottle. Sure. And can we make 2 more, or did we fail? We can make 2 more. Use the water nearby. Oh, it's just one of those days when you don't want to wake up. Everybody sucks. Everything is fucked. I don't know the words to that song. So now we have, and we're coughing. Why don't we take a shot of bee balm just to see the impact that it has on our character? Did we not? We didn't even pick it up. It just gets dropped probably here. No. So when you finish crafting like that, it puts it wherever the container item was. Bee balm tea. We'll take 1. Let's consume a little bee balm tea. Seems like that would be good for us anyway. Bee balm tea, fresh, hot, 2 of 2. Eat that. Can't taste much of anything with the cold. Okay. Looks like it gave us a stimulant effect, unless we got that from some of the other food we were eating. It doesn't actually have, it doesn't say anything. Oh, symptoms can be alleviated. No, that's not. So it doesn't actually tell us that we have the effect of bee balm tea. So we can look that our strength is 12 instead of 10, but that's the only way we would know. Okay, well, whatever. It hopefully is a cough suppressant that we can stop dealing with this a little bit. So we do have a healthier supply of cough syrup type material now. Oh, not happy with how this video has gone so far. Probably should call it. Probably should have called it several minutes ago. Why don't we just call the episode and give me a chance to take a break and maybe come back with a little bit more of a calm, rational head on my shoulders instead of being pissed off. So for now, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll be back with more Cataclysm every day of the week, and I'll see you in the next episode.